flyers have time and again raised the issue of high and dual MRP for packaged water and food on board flights in India. Now, 72% have experienced it for water, like high prices, while 59% say that the food prices have just gone up. The consumer report, which has come out now after these complaints, says that as much as 5 to 15 times higher MRP is being published on certain packaged products and sold on board the various flights, despite the NCDRC's order calling for not having two MRPs for the same product. Similar looking products continue to have dual MRPs as per the consumer feedback. Now, this is despite the government's guidelines and orders by the National Commission prohibiting identical prepackaged products from having different MRPs at different locations. Now, this has been a complaint as far as a lot of flyers are concerned, specifically with water, food on board the domestic flights. The National Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission has also ruled that there cannot be two MRPs except in accordance with the law, which was changed in 2017. On June 23rd, 2017, the government amended the legal metrology packaged commodities rules 2011, effectively banning dual MRP. Now, these rules came into effect on January 1st, 2018, following the official notification by the Government of India. However, in practice, this rule is still not being followed strictly due to the lack of proper enforcement. The survey received over 22,000 responses from consumers located in 322 districts of India. Let me, at this moment, just to try and understand what can the consumers do. Is there a legal way out? Can you sue the airline for the overcharged water or the food that you consume on board? Let me go across to Mr. Vineet Dada, advocate, Supreme Court, former Assistant Solicitor General of India. Mr. Dada, I just want to understand from you, sir, and I'm sure you are also one of those consumers who have experienced this on board some flight that you would have taken. Water, which normally you will get for a 20 rupee, automatically goes to 40 to 50 rupees, the same bottle that you will get even at the airport or outside for much lesser. Why and how can the consumer in fact complain, and how is it that there is, despite all these laws, dual MRP which still exists and nobody is checking it?
Today I paid 100 rupees on an Indigo flight for a bottle of water. So these prices are unimaginable and they are beyond any propositions of law. What consumer can do is they can make a complaint to the Ministry of Civil Aviation, because there is an app which has been made by the Government of India, in which not only your MRP or any other problem you face on the flights, any inconvenience or high-handedness faced by the flyer on an aircraft or inside the airport terminal, those complaints can be made to the Ministry of Civil Aviation. Secondly, this is a very good topic for which sincere public interest litigation can be filed. For a reason, the flyers are being taken for a ride, their hard-earned money is being just fleeced off, and there is nothing, despite the rules in prevalence, nobody is there to stop the arrogance of the airlines. So the basic thing which a consumer can do, they can make a complaint to Ministry of Civil Aviation on their sites. Okay. There is an app for that. Secondly, a writ petition can be filed in the Delhi High Court or a PIL file for Pan India and on the Supreme Court of India.
Mr. Nana, may I, sir, humbly suggest, because you yourself have, as you were saying, you yourself paid 100 rupees for a bottle of water. Would it not be easier if somebody like you goes ahead and takes this case head on? I mean, there will be a lot of people, those who will be looking forward and supporting you in this entire crusade, sir.
With due respect, sir, within 10 days, I'll file a writ petition regarding this. Because I had an idea of this, that people are being fleeced off, but the problem has reached to such zenith
Yes.
is being informed to me by your esteemed channel. So I must take a strict action against them because the airlines, besides all this, they act on their own. And if you try to make some noise about this, or you try to tell them, see, these are the rules and you're overcharging, then your scene will go totally different. They'll get you thrown out of the aircraft and some different proceedings will start.
Right.
So even a person who's trying to travel peacefully from one destination to other destination, some people think, let's avoid all this trouble.
True.
But
True.
I give you a promise that I must file a petition because this is a very, very important thing which the flyers are facing these days.
Lakhs and
And
lakhs
there is
of
no
people in
action.
this country and consumers will be thankful to you, Mr. Dhanda, if you do, sir. Go ahead and take these airlines and others to task. But before I let you go, I just want to ask you one question. Is there a loophole that these airlines and others, just because you're sitting in some sort of a aircraft or at some place, the charges go up? Many say that there are luxury charges that or some sort of a cess that they incur. Is there a loophole that they are trying to, in fact, use and overcharge, or are they completely in violation of the law?
Firstly, they are completely in violation of the prevalent rules made by the government of India. Secondly, the problem is this that today I paid 100 rupee for a water bottle in Indigo flight. But the problem is by filing a petition, I'll go to the Honorable Court, Consumer Forum for 10 months, 20 months, 30 months. And what I'll get is not the result expected by a citizen.
Right.
So the normal common man is trying to make their ends meet. They avoid drinking water. I have seen people, they avoid drinking water. They avoid taking something on aircrafts because they are so exorbitant.
Right.
But the fight with these airline magnates is not easy.
That's true.
And not everyone can afford because we are living our lives and our day-to-day chores are so important.
No, I totally
that time
agree.
for such
I totally
things.
agree. That is why somebody who is learned in law and as somebody influential as yourself, when you take up this kind of a matter, I'm sure it will have an impact, sir. Thank you so much for speaking to us here on NDTV. We'll be looking forward to that writ petition. Many consumers would in fact be thanking you if it does come to some sort of a conclusion. My colleague Sakshi Bajaj also joins us at this moment. Sakshi, bring our viewers more details. What kind of loopholes that these airlines at this moment are in fact using to overcharge consumers with such high prices for food and water?
Right, Ankit, from what I understand, you have, of course, been discussing this survey. And the big questions after NDTV has been speaking to experts all day while the aviation industry is looking at revenue. The big question really coming out of all of this is what really is realistic pricing? How expensive is too expensive? Now, as per a recent local circle survey, consumers are complaining of costly food and water on airlines. And as per this survey, 72% respondents feel they are overcharged for water, and while 59% say they are overcharged for food. So these percentage figures really significant there, remember, because these are coming from consumers. And for all those traveling frequently, the study is also suggesting that MRP published on products is 5 to 15 times higher than the usual, than the norm. So, of course, this raising questions on guidelines, on trade practices, on dual pricing altogether. So, very, very important questions coming in. Of course, NDTV has been speaking to analysts and experts as well as consumers. And really the questions that are coming in, that what is realistic pricing? Just because consumers are confined to an airplane at the point, does that mean they should be compelled to pay any price? So lots of consumers also talking about domestic pricing. Remember, we have seen consumers cite examples as well of noodles, of sandwiches. Some consumers are also telling NDTV that, look, if a sandwich is priced at 600 rupees on an air flight, then, what is really the cost that it is coming at. Similarly, for the instant cup of noodles. So, of course, a lot of these consumers giving these daily examples, and this survey really reflecting the citizens' concerns at large. So, while, of course, this is raising a larger question and a larger picture altogether, remember, this study was conducted after surveying over 20,000 citizens from 322 districts across India.
Right.
So, therefore, this study encapsulating really what consumers are concerned about. And of course, the aviation industry is looking at revenue models, but really realistic pricing and just how expensive is too expensive, as well as how much should consumers altogether be paying for food
Right,
and
Sakshi.
water and essentials as a percentage of their ticket pricing.
Sakshi, thank you for joining us with all those details. An important matter, and trust NDTV will keep an eye on this issue.